On August 19, 2020, former President Barack Obama gave a speech at the Democratic National Convention. His speech was given from the American Revolution Museum in Philadelphia.
As you've seen by now, this isn't a normal convention. It's not a normal time. So tonight I want to talk as plainly as I can about the stakes in this election.
By being keenly aware of the use of symbolism by members of the occult, politicians, and the media, one can begin to grasp the concept of how this secret cabal communicates its plans to its adherents through veiled and coded language put on display in open view of the world, but without detection from the uninitiated. We're going to take a look at the symbolism connected to this speech in a moment, but first, let's go back in time for a second. Remember when Obama spoke at the DNC in August of 2008 at Mile High Stadium with the mascot of the Denver Broncos, the white horse, perched above his head?
With profound gratitude and great humility, I accept your nomination for presidency of the United States.
As we know, this was meant to symbolize Obama as the rider on the white horse found in Revelation 6:2, the symbol for the Antichrist. Previously, we've discussed how this also ties in with the blood sacrifice of Nipsey Hussle, who was a type of false messiah, and whose alleged killer is being represented by Christopher Darden, one of the prosecutors of O.J. Simpson, who led police on a low-speed chase in a white Bronco, again as a representation of the rider on the white horse. The location of Mile High Stadium in Denver, which is known geographically for its high elevation and being the first city to legalize marijuana use or getting high, connects to the elevation of the mind, 420, in raising the collective consciousness. It also points to man being elevated to the status of a god. Remember this connection to 420, as we'll come back to it in a moment. We were shown a depiction of man evolving into a god in iPad Goat when Obama was given a graduation cap with the words evolution on the chalkboard behind him. It should be noted that if we place the letter R, which is the 18th letter of the alphabet, giving us 666, in front of the word evolution, we get the word revolution, which directly connects to Obama's speech at the American Revolution Museum in Philly. But we'll get to that in a moment. The graduation in iPad Goat was meant to symbolize Obama's evolution, ascending to a higher degree in status to become a god. It also foreshadows his revolution against the Most High as the lawless one. As we already know, Obama declared himself to be God on September 11th while reading Psalm 46.
Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth.
The symbolism of the graduation was brought full circle this year when Obama addressed the 2020 graduates, and in doing so, called for the destruction of the old world order and the building of the new.
You know, all those adults that you used to think were in charge and knew what they were doing, turns out they don't have all the answers. A lot of them aren't even asking the right questions. So if the world's going to get better, the world's going to be up to you. Nobody can tell you, no, you're too young to understand, or this is how it's always been done. Because with so much uncertainty, with everything suddenly up for grabs, this is your generation's world to shape.
Interestingly enough, on the same night that Obama gave his speech at the DNC, Kamala Harris also gave a speech accepting her nomination as vice president.
Greetings, America. It is truly an honor to be speaking with you tonight. That I am here tonight is a testament to the dedication of generations before me.
Because of her mother and grandparents, Kamala was raised to follow the teachings of Hinduism and attended a Hindu temple. That's Kamala on the top left. Kamala represents the Hindu Brahmins, who were the oppressors in the Indian caste system. In fact, a 2003 profile of Harris included a quote from her mother, which read, "We are Brahmins. That is the top caste. Please do not confuse this with class, which is only about money. For Brahmins, the bloodline is the most important. My family, named Gopalan, goes back more than 1,000 years." The Brahmins believe they are descendant from the Hindu god Brahma, the creator god in Hinduism. Several Puranas describe Brahma as emerging from a lotus flower. It is important to note that the name Kamala, which is of Hindi origin, means lotus. This also connects back to I Pet Goat in the scene where an apple lands at Obama's feet and opens up to a lotus flower. Therefore, through the 2020 DNC, we are literally being shown a representation of I Pet Goat 2 from Obama's graduation to the opening of the lotus flower at his feet. Moreover, this connects to Obama's depiction as the goat or god of all things on the cover of Newsweek magazine as the Hindu god Shiva, the god of destruction, who is also associated with Abaddon or Apollyon, the king of the bottomless pit, found in Revelation chapter 9, verse 11. This also connects back to another depiction of a false messiah in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is also known as the Brahma Bull, in its Global Citizen, Global Unite concert for coronavirus, which we know represents the crowning of Antichrist as king of the New World Order. I say all of this to show you that there's already been an ample amount of symbolism used in events surrounding Obama, which points to him as being the Antichrist, and this most recent speech does nothing to dispel those rumors. In fact, it only adds to the intrigue. The date chosen for Obama's appearance at the DNC in 2020 was August 19th. This was also done deliberately for the symbolism and numerology connected with it. The letter D is the fourth letter. Therefore, D20 represents 420, which is symbolic of getting high or elevating the collective conscious of the masses and man evolving into a god. This connects back to the rider on the white horse in Obama's speech at Mile High Stadium at the DNC in 2008. Notice the D20 logo, which includes the pentagram, a symbol for Baphomet, inside of the letter D. Remember, we saw the satanic Baphomet symbol worn during the shooting at Jefferson Square Park in Louisville, Kentucky, during protests for Breonna Taylor. Jefferson Square Park is named after Thomas Jefferson. As we know, Thomas Jefferson was the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, and during the American Revolution, Jefferson represented Virginia in the Continental Congress that adopted the Declaration. This fact directly connects to Obama's speech at the D20 on August 19th, which was held at the American Revolution Museum in Philadelphia. Obviously, the American Revolution Museum in Philadelphia attaches this event to the theme of revolution, which, by definition, is a forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favor of a new system, which occurs when the population revolts against the government, typically due to perceived oppression or political incompetence. Clearly, the reference to revolution is also directly related to the recent protests, riots, chaos, and anarchy seen here in America and across the world, including the calls to defund police and the formation of autonomous zones. You may remember back in 2013 when P. Diddy signed a deal with Time Warner to create Revolt TV.
You're actually watching History right now. I'm on my way to Time Warner Cable as we speak to close Time Warner deal.
You know, they say hindsight is 20/20. So when we look back at 2013 from 2020 to see the partnership being formed between Time Warner, P. Diddy, and Revolt TV, it becomes clear that the civil unrest and the chaos we are seeing play out in the world today were planned and orchestrated years ago in order to spark a revolt, a new American revolution, with aims to destroy this country in order to make way for the new world order. I mean, just look at the symbol of Time Warner, which is an all-seeing eye. We know that eye represents the eye of Lucifer, found on the back of the dollar bill. Further, we were just shown this eye through propaganda associated with another representative of the false Messiah, Trey the Truth, in his song Time for Change, which was connected to George Floyd.
It's time for us to change America.
Also, when we look at the quote-unquote token black music mogul P. Diddy with his Revolt TV cable network in 2013 pushing the theme of revolution, it is clear that the Antichrist spirit is involved. This is the spirit of 76. I should mention that 7 plus 6 equals 13, and the number 13 represents rebellion in Scripture. See Genesis chapter 14, verse 4 if you need proof. In fact, the date August 19th, 2020 is 76 days before Election Day. This is the true reason Obama's speech was given on this day from the American Revolution Museum in Philadelphia, because it was given in the spirit of rebellion and revolution. Since this speech was given in Philadelphia, it connects to the Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers logo is the Liberty Bell with a snake cut into pieces. The secondary logo is that of one of the founding fathers and signer of the Declaration of Independence as well, Benjamin Franklin, who is also a member of the Satanic Hellfire Club. The logo with the snake and Phila Unite underneath it is a homage to a drawing by Benjamin Franklin that was published in the Pennsylvania Gazette in 1754 as America's first political cartoon. Originally, the snake was cut into 8 segments, each representing an American colony or region, with the phrase "join or die" written beneath it. This phrase and the theme of uniting into one is being repurposed for the new revolution, the forcible overthrow of the existing national government and social order in favor of a new global system. That system is the New World Order, which will complete the very plans laid out on the back of the dollar bill, Novus Ordo Seclorum, or the formation of the New World Order through the destruction of America and other nation states. Speaking of the destruction of America and what that would mean for the rest of the world, in a moment I'm going to show you a clip of Donald Trump answering a question about whether or not he is secretly saving the world from a satanic cult of reptilians? I want you to pay attention to what his answer is. But before we get to that clip, let me preface this by saying that I am not a supporter of Donald Trump. Moreover, in previous videos, I have already shown how Trump's presidency was an orchestrated event that was telegraphed to the world by Obama's speech at the White House Correspondents' Dinner back in 2011.
Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we got up there.
For all intents and purposes, Obama and Trump represent the black and white dichotomy of Freemasonry and dualism seen in the checkerboard floor. They represent two opposing sides of the same coin. It is theater for the masses to feed into, and thus the masses are controlled through the age-old strategy of divide and conquer. Further, in a previous video, I also pointed out that Donald Trump represented the 16th Trump Tower tarot card months before he was placed on the cover of The Economist magazine with tarot cards in 2017. The 16th Trump Tower card symbolizes sudden disruptive and destructive change, which is exactly the reason why we have seen so much disruptive and destructive change throughout the 4 years of Trump's presidency. This card follows the Devil card in the tarot deck, which makes it appropriate that Trump's presidency followed Obama's. Now to the clip of Trump in his very interesting answer.
Theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does that sound like something you are behind?
Well, I haven't heard that, but is that supposed to be a bad thing or a good thing? I mean, if I can help save the world from problems, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put myself out there. And we are, actually. We're saving the world from a radical left philosophy that will destroy this country. And when this country is gone, the rest of the world would follow.
In his answer, Trump said, "We are saving this country from the radical left philosophy that will destroy this country, and when this country is gone, the rest of the world would follow." The radical left is equal to Marxism. A Marxist will conclude that capitalism exploits and oppresses the proletariat. Therefore, capitalism will inevitably lead to a proletarian revolution. This is the revolution we are seeing right now, which will eventually lead to global democratic socialism. The destruction of America and nationalism, or chauvinism, as you may recall, which connects back to David Chauvin, the officer who placed his knee on George Floyd's neck, will inevitably lead to the collapse of nationalism across the world and the subsequent rise of an integrated global government. Phila unite means to love and unite, a reference to the brotherhood of humanity in the unity of all human beings, which connects back to the Brahma Bulls, Global Citizen, and Global Unite campaigns. These things are all being set up to fool you into following them and joining their plans of revolution, liberation, social unrests, the formation of autonomous zones, and anarchy, with protesters all over the world holding up one fist in the air in solidarity and defiance against the current system. It should be noted that the symbol of the raised fist in the air is a symbol of socialism. As early as 1914, a clenched fist was described as symbolic of the social revolution. This is the same social revolution that we see occurring around the world, which, at its conclusion, will bring about the New World Order, uniting humankind under the spirit of 76, which is a spirit of rebellion, nothing more than the rise of the king of the bottomless pit, found in Revelation 9:11, directing the reversal of Genesis 11:9 through the rebuilding of the Tower of Babel. The raised fist towards the heavens, then, represents their revolution, rebellion, and solidarity in defiance of the Most High God. This is the spirit of Antichrist, the spirit of 76, which is a spirit of rebellion and revolution. It is no surprise that Obama would choose a location connected with revolution and the overthrow of the established order of government. Remember his mentor, Saul Alinsky, who wrote Rules for Radicals, gave an acknowledgement to Lucifer for being the first revolutionary when he stated, "Lest we forget at least an over-the-shoulder acknowledgement to the very first radical from all our legends, mythology, and history, the first radical known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did it so effectively that he at least won his own kingdom, Lucifer." What more needs to be said? If you have not given your life to the Most High by accepting Yahushua HaMashiach as your Master and Redeemer through his blood sacrifice, which was shed on the cross for redemption of sins, the time to do so is now. The time is fast approaching for Michael to stand up, along with the angels of the Most High, to fight against the dragon and his angels. Praise Yah. Amen. Shalom.